How's it going, y'all? Cross here, and we just got first place at Peoria, Illinois, and it feels great. It feels great. This is my third official One Piece event. In the first one, Deck Limited Battles, we got third place. Second one, we got top 8 at Long Beach, and now I got my second Serial Luffy with first place at Illinois. So before I say anything more, let's just look at the prizing real quick. Let's take a look at it. Sheesh, you know what I'm saying? We got the Sanjis, the Nami sleeves. This isn't prizing, but this is from my homie Shane, who also got first place at an online regional, and a lot of respect to him. This is a Don he gave me for winning the lab tournament, so I have to include this here. We got the Serial Luffy, and we just got this one event pack. I originally had 21 gold Don, but I sold 10 of it while at the venue, so unfortunately I don't get to show that. But this is the prizing, and it's great. Before we get into the deck list, I want to give some shout outs. I got to give the shout outs off the start of the video. Shout outs to Jackson Huang, really good player in general, honestly, in every card game. Shout outs to Thomas as well. Thomas, bro, I swear I'm gonna mess. Thomas Wen. Hopefully I said that right. Thomas, my bad. Thomas. Shout out to Karar for also getting top 16 at Peoria, Illinois, and shout out to all the Arizona people: Tash, Nico, Shane, Daniel, Christian, Brandon, etc. Just shout out to all the Arizona people. Shout out to Daniel especially as well for letting me use his Altar Law Leader, because bro was like, you can't be going into this broke, bro. Like, if you're gonna do well, at least you gotta have something nice. Because I had like mismatched Dawn and stuff like that, but he gave me this leader cheese, which was fire. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the list. By the way, the funny part about the list is I think it's like a few cards off from like a YouTube video I posted about regularly lost. So peep the videos, man. Even though I need to post more consistently. But anyways, let's look at it. So first we're gonna start off with the one drops. We got 4 Nami, just a searcher, always need 4. 4 Bonnie, another searcher, always need 4. Before we continue here, I need to talk about the usage of Bonnie, because I know some people are trying to pick up this deck. Bonnie's a card that I really would not play early game against decks that can kill it, which is the majority of decks. Like, this card is like your whole engine. If you see a Bonnie, you need to save it until you can guarantee you can get it back to your hand, or unless you have multiple Bonnies. Like, you really need to be cautious of that. Whenever you play a Bonnie on the board, if you only have one, you always want to get it back to your hand. Like, if you guys saw me play, there was probably some games where I had like a green card to go into, such as Reset Law, but I still bounced back Bonnie and played like a Rush Zoro or a Starter Zoro, because you just need this. It searches everything. It searches your Zoros, it searches your 5 cost, it searches Law, which is like the heart of the deck. Like, you need it, bro. So that's just something to note about Bonnie. Like, you need to make sure you keep reusing Bonnie. But let's continue. I'm not saying too much. We got 4 Chopper, just 4 blockers, searchable off Nami. If you're going to reduce either of the blockers, you would definitely reduce Beige, which I'm going to show you in a bit before you reduce Chopper. You 100% want 4 Chopper to increase the amount of Nami targets to search. Then we have 4 Beige. My friends recently, some of my law friends were saying that Beige sucks. I think Jackson and Thomas like ran 3 or something like that. I personally really liked 4. Like, y'all are going to see that I'm running 3 Brook in a bit, but I really liked 4 of this. It came in so clutch. We saw my first round against Daffy in top 8. I had like a billion blockers, and I think running like 8 instead of 7 just really helps with that. Like, I really do like having the 8 blockers, and I currently think it's the move. Even though there's a lot of removal, like, it's just too good. Like, they still have to commit down to remove it. And these cards are really good against when your opponent tries to back-to-back 9 beards. Some people don't notice this, but if your opponent's going to back-to-back 9 beard, just play a 1-cost blocker. Because if they're spending 9 down on a white beard, that means they don't have 2 down to pop the blocker with 9 beard. Oh my god, I just dropped some stuff. But let's continue on. For Otama. Otama's just, this card's crazy. I comboed with this card like wild. Also sacked with it a bit in the finals. This card's just crazy. You 100% need this card. Too crazy. Minus 2k. 3 Makino. This card's kind of negotiable, I guess. Personally, I think I would like run 3 at the very least. That's probably the least amount I would run, because it's just really good for comboing with Nami. It's a 2k counter that can be searchable off Dodon, and yeah, I just really like it. And it's also another 1 cost to help Shambles as fast as possible. So that'll be it for the 1 cost. Let's go ahead and look at the 2 cost now. So we have 4 Dodon. Not much to say about this card. This card's just insane, bro. Like, this card is so wild. I was thinking about this card. I'm like, bro, how could I ever run less than 4 than this? Like, imagine you play Dodon, right? Let's say you find Nami off Dodon. Bam, you're playing Nami. And then let's say you find Chopper off Nami. You're playing Chopper. That is 3 units on the board off of 1 card. That is absolutely ridiculous. Dodon's the GOAT, bro. Dodon's the GOAT. I feel like you just need 4 of this straight up. 3 Brook. The reason I reduced Brook to 3 from 4 is just because I needed space for other cards. I still have like 10 2Ks outside of Radical Beam, so honestly, it worked pretty well. I think I'll probably just keep Brook at 3 for the time being. I didn't really feel like I needed the 4th. 3 just put in the work I needed to put in, so that was good. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the 3 costs. So I know a lot of people were wondering what these ratios were, but it was literally just 2 Rush Zoro, 1 ST Zoro. So 2 Rush Zoro was what I saw the Miyagi winner play, so I'm like, okay, I probably just need 2 Rush Zoro, but I wanted to add in another Zoro, and I was like, F it, let's go ahead and make it this Zoro here. That way I can like shambles the 6K attacker off of blocker law. It feels a little hard to like verbalize how I justify this ratio, but I like it. Like this is the, I played this ratio at locals. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I won locals with law a few times. And this is the ratio I ran, just 2 Rush Zoro, 1 SC Zoro, and it hasn't failed me, so I'm gonna stick to it. I did have 2 of this at some point instead of the second green Zoro, but I wanted the extra 1K counter, so I took this down to 1 and added green Zoro back to 2. 3 Vista. All right, this is definitely abnormal. This is normally a 4, at least in set 2. It's starting to get reduced a bit in set 3. The reason I went down to 3 was actually because I saw Japanese players reducing it, and I'm like, okay, let me just try reducing this card. And honestly, I'm a fan of 3. The reason I reduced it was just because I needed to find space for other stuff. Like, I didn't want to compromise on running less restand law. I really wanted to play 10 green units, and I wanted to fit in the rad boom. So I'm like, all right, Vista's probably the best thing to reduce, because I don't want to reduce Makino because I still want to run like at least 10 2Ks that don't like cost anything to play. So I just did 3 Vista, and it worked pretty well. If you're not comfortable with 3, you can definitely go to 4, but I think I'm sticking with 3, bro. Like 3 worked. It worked very well for me. And I guess you could cut one of these Zoros for another Vista, but I just really liked having the extra attacker Zoro. Like, I think having like 3 Zoro is huge. I know Miyagi player play 2 and you can do 2, but just having extra attackers to shimbo off laws is great. Next up we have 4 blocker law. If you run less than 4, just unsub from the channel. Just yeah, it's the heart of the deck, bro. It's the heart of the deck. You have to have 4. 4 Restand Law. This card is goated. Oh my god, this card is insane. Like, if y'all saw my games in Top Cut, this card was everything, bro. This card is just, I can't believe that us and Japan didn't know about running like a lot of this in set 1. It's just so crazy. Like, it's just a 2-cost kid that, it's like a 2-cost kid ability that you can just casually do. You get to get a 6K body and restand an attacker no matter how much Don is on it. Broken. The card's insane. If you haven't tested with 4 of this, test with it. I have tried taking it down to 3 and stuff like that, but I feel like you need 4, especially for Whitebeard, and just so you can see more copies. Like, I'm an advocate for 4. I think you need 4 of this. It's just too insane. You restand both of these. You restand your Zoros as well. If you watch the game in finals, my game 2 in finals, I restood the beige that I put 3 down on, so that was dope. And then we have 2 Zoro. These are normally like Drakes or Luffy or something like that. I went for Zoro because of the consistency. The reason I don't like 5-cost Luffy is because too much of our low end is red. So Luffy just feels really, really bad in the early to mid game. Like, it just sucks to attempt to shambles into, because you're going to end up having to shambles into a beige, or you're going to have to hope that you've already seen Bonnie. So that's a big, big reason I don't use Luffy. Luffy's good for closing out games, but I feel like Restand Law is just good enough for closing out games, so I don't use Luffy. And then Drake is good as well, but I preferred having the additional Nami targets by running Zoro, so that's the reason for that. And then lastly, we have the events. 2 Jet Pistol. Thomas and Jax were kind of talking to me about how we might not really need Jet Pistol in the deck anymore, and it's kind of fair. The reason I use it is just because I'm scared of green. Like, I feel like this is just too good to have against green, like being able to Otama, Jet Pistol like Kid, 7-cost Kid, even Odin in some scenarios. This card's also randomly good against 9-beard, because you can do like a play where you play Otama and then you play Law to grab the Otama back, replay Otama, and now Whitebeard 6 and you can Jet Pistol it. So that's another play that does come up quite frequently. You don't need it against 9-beard, but it's kind of a nice play to have. So you can arguably cut this, but I think it's really good against green. And if Law becomes more popular, this card is cracked in the mirror. So I think I would include Pistol at this point, since it seems Law's going to gain popularity. And then we have 2 Radical Beam. This card is crazy. Put in way too much during the weekend. I remember asking, I was talking to Gavin, which he's like one of the Japanese broadcasters. And I even talked to another Japanese player. I'm like, why are we not using beam? And they said that they just prefer having utility and stuff like that. And I think it's fair. I think this could definitely be like another Vista or like Ease or something like that. But this was just cracked. It was just cracked all weekend. Like sometimes your board is just too full, or you're missing blockers, or you don't want to like replace something for a blocker. And this is kind of like a blocker out of hand, which is absolutely crazy. And another thing is that it makes Nami's search so much stronger. Like a lot of the times I feel like Nami's search is kind of weak going into like the mid to late game, just because like Bonnie and Dodon just feel so much better. Because Dodon, there's just more targets to get. Like you can get like 7 2Ks or a blocker. It's like, why would I even use Nami in like the mid to late game? But Beam just gives us another reason to use Nami. So absolutely huge. Basically a blocker out of hand. And I think I'm keeping at least 2 in the deck. The card was, it was just too insane. It overperformed during this weekend. But that's it for the regional deck list. I'm so happy I got first place, man. I'm so happy. Shout outs to everybody I played against. Y'all were all mad chill. There was that stupid 9-beard rule chart going on during the weekend. I'm glad that none of the people I played was like that. Really, I appreciate y'all. Because I know there was even some points in top 8 where, because apparently for Dodon you have to declare 5 because it says up to 5. There were some points in like top 16 in general where I forgot to say 5, and my opponents are just like, whatever, you know. They didn't shark me on that. Really appreciate y'all for that. And yeah, that's it. With that, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.